أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. We continue with sessions of عالم الجن والشياطين, or the world of jinn and devils. There was a very good point that was brought up yesterday in a tafsir class, sister's tafsir class, somewhere else. About the humans' need to seek the help of jinn. And again, if every discussion revolves around the same exact thing, being fascinated of something we don't know, about something we don't know. Jinn, supernatural powers of penetrating things, flying, going around, and they are going to give us a boost in our abilities and so on and so forth. That's the subject keep revolving around this specific point. And the result of the discussion was like, subhanallah, if you know that you can be helped by someone higher, why you go to someone lower? If you can seek the help of Allah Himself, why would you go for jinn? You know what jinn means anyways, don't mean anything. If I know that Allah Azza wa Jal is the one controlling everything and everyone, and He subhanahu wa ta'ala can make anybody under my disposal if I'm close to Him. Allah sakhara lakum ma fil samawati wa fil ardi jami'an minhu. Allah is the one who make everything under your disposal in heavens and earth. Yeah, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can and able to make you avoid any harm and get any benefit, subhanallah. And this is something I wanted to mention. So we continue with the methods of shaitan to deviate people. We talked about tazyeenul batil, means decorating falsehood. He will not come and tell you you're a believer till you become a mushrik. Will not do that. Or you are praying and he'll tell you stop praying. Will not do that. But he will make something wrong look nice. Looks nice. And later will make something nice look bad. Something good looks bad, and so on. So take 1 degree at a time. Take us 1 degree down at a time. The next among the manifestations of that is naming wrong things with good names. And مثلا you go to a hotel, or you go to a conference or something, they will say there is a happy hour. That happy hour is drinking wine. So they call it what? Happy hour. And they call it spirits, or spirit drink, or something like that. They don't want to say, or they call it liquor. Before they used to call it khamr. Khamr means the one that's fermented. So it gives its own, like it has a smell, the name indicates that it's bad. Right? But now the name does not indicate bad. They will call it muskirat. Muskirat means intoxicants. That's the Arabic name for it. But now they will call it what? Spirits, drinks. They will say somebody he drinks. They don't say he gets intoxicated. They just say drinks. Drink what? Drink water, or drink juice? Drink what? Right? So that's something like that. You say, I am a social drinker. You see the word? Social. So the person would say, I am a social drinker. You know, that means, like it's okay. I drink a couple of times. So shaitan make these things like making something big look less. So, I just had to. And so on. Also, they will call riba. People sometimes call it mu'amala. Even in Arabic. Riba, you know riba, right? Riba usually. They will call it muamala. Muamala means business transaction. They will call it the transaction. The transaction. So to try to, Shaitan try to make people do what? Whenever men and women come and they will say equal rights. I'm just going further now, right? Equal rights. Well, equal rights is a very good word. Actually, we're supposed to fight for equal rights. But are what we're doing is fighting for equal rights? That's the question here. Okay? We want equality. Who doesn't? Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? Like, if I say I want equality with everybody here at this masjid, great. But what do you actually want? What does that mean? All right? So the concept is great, noble, good. All of us are servants of Allah. All of us are humans, correct? All of us should be respected, should be dealt with dignity. Each and everyone has freedom, has privacy. Yeah, everybody's equal in that. Absolutely. But me and my children are equal in the way that we should be treated by each other? No. Because my children say, the way you treat us, Baba, we're going to treat you back. Then it's not. You understand me? And this is where the shaitan comes and plays and keeps fine-tuning until we accept the concept. And then we go on and on and on and on. Also, one of his methods is extreme right or extreme left. Meaning, someone easier to give up a good deed, so he will come and push him toward that side. Someone is very dedicated, so push him the other side of extremism. You get it? So someone is like connected to the salah and everything, so he will come and make him judge everybody who's not doing what they do as wrong or as less. So now going toward what? Right. But going ifrat. Ifrat means extreme right. Extreme in doing good things to the point that they think they become better than others. Alright? Or make them waswas. The wudu, they keep repeating the wudu. Okay? So they keep repeating the wudu. Oh no, my wudu is not perfect. I have to. Or maybe I forgot finger. So they keep washing their hand. Something that's called waswas, right? So going from that, he is not able to make them quit salah and wudu. So we'll mess up their salah and wudu by going extreme. Going what? Extreme. So they make a mistake in a verse of Quran. You repeat the whole rak'ah. That's one way of extreme. The other way is, I am better. Look at these people, they don't even pray. Look at these people, they won't even do. Right? So that. Or the other one, they lagging behind. Like a teenager or someone lagging behind in the salah. They make them lag more. Tafreet. Tafreet means abandonment. So negligence on one side and extremely doing something on the other side. It does not want you to be in the middle. Because in the middle, if you find yourself going here, you bring yourself back. You find yourself lagging, you bring yourself back. Correct? And when we are with each other, that's what we do to each other. You look around and you find, now I come back again. Right? I'm taking it too much, too hard. And then you come with the jama'ah and you come back in. Or you become lazy. You come back to the jama'ah, they give you, a better motivation. That's the importance of these classes and being connected with good people all the time. Assalamu alaikum sister, how are you doing today? Subhanallah, I wake up in the morning, I find myself lazy, I did not pray Fajr in time. No. I know why. Did you stay late? You see? So the other one brings you back. Whenever you find yourself lagging, your good friend will bring you back. That's a one to hold to. Anybody who is always supporting you when you are going out, laziness brings you back, and when you're going to the other extreme, bring you also back. That is your good friend. That is the one that you need to be always with. A session in the masjid, somebody you go out with, somebody you talk to on the phone, some member of the family, you give nasiha. Those are the ones you always keep an eye on, because they are your compass. There are people in our life, they are like our compass. You know, sometimes my kids tell me, "Mama, you are taking it so hard on yourself. Why you are doing this? Take it easy." No, sometimes my kids take it easy. You have been reading for like 3 hours. Come watch a movie with us. You know, I'm not giving you the exact example, but I'm just telling you, like, sometimes they are not against you reading or doing something, but they just don't want you to take it too much and make it hard on yourself. And I do the same for them as well. When I see them like playing a lot, no, it's time now for studying. When they do something too much, I said, go have fun. Like that, like you balance things. But shaitan does what? Taking you extreme this or extreme that. Alright. Also, the shaitan has a way of telling you, making you not able to take initiative, and if you are a person who take initiative, delaying you, make you delay. What does it mean? Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying in the hadith Sahih al-Bukhari narrated, hadith Abu Hurairah, قال يعقد الشيطان على قافية رأس أحدكم إذا هو نام 3 عقد يضرب كل عقدة مكانها عليك ليل طويل فارقد. Each and every one of us, when we go to sleep, once we are out, shaitan comes and makes 3 knots on the back of the head. It's called the nape, between the neck and the head. That area in the middle, out, up, it's called the nape. Like this part here. This is the neck, and this is the nape, and this is the head, right? So he comes and he make 3 uqda. Like you are making a knot in the rope. ومن شر النفاثات في العقد. What is نفاثات في العقد? The women, they used to do magic, or sorcerers, they used to do magic. They bring a thread, خيط يعني, خيط, thread, and then they will make a knot, 1 knot, and before they tie it, they make a knot loose, it's still loose, and they will say whatever they want to say, right? By such and such, and they say the names of the jinn or the shayateen or something like that. I want to do such and such harm for such and such person, and do that, and then they go the next knot, and they will do the same thing, like this, and they will do 7, 8, 9, 10, 40, 100 knots, right? And then they will go and bury it somewhere or hang it somewhere. It depends, So if this is another science by itself, right? This is another science by itself. Each and every one of us, they divide people. It's like your nature is like water or fire or soil or air. Each one has a nature, right? So they take it from your name and your mom's name, or they take it from your zodiac or the, whatever the birth date. Okay, so they say that this, if you are like Aries, you are fire, and Aries goes with the certain, anyways, this is not the problem now. So they say you're fire. So when a person is nature is fire, so anything that they do has to be burned. So they make whatever magic or anything, and they burn it. Then it affects you. If a person is water, they will either give it to you to drink, or they will spray you with it, or they will put it in your way. They spray it in your way, water. And if your nature is air, they will hang it on a tree or in a high place. So every time the air does this to it, you become crazy, right? And if you are the soil, they will bury it. It is buried. They will bury it in the graveyard, or they will bury it beside a river, or bury it beside something, water or something like that. As long as the water beside it is going and it is buried, then the thing is going on. So that's how they do the magic. So one of the ways is that they keep doing what? Like this. That's why whenever we are undoing it, so we do the opposite. You come on the knot and you start reading the Quran, and untie it if you can, or cut it. If we find that. If you find that. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this Jewish person, Labid ibn al-A'sam, he made the magic to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. How did he make the magic to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? He took the comb that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to comb himself with. And that is the worst kind of magic, when you take something from the person. When you do it long distance, it's weaker. When you do it like this, but when you take something from them, right? When you take something from them, I don't want to create a doubt for you, but you always watch where your clothes is, where your towels are, where your socks, where your hijab, where your underwear, your things like that. You always, know exactly where you put these things and who have access to these things, right? So anything that touching your body, people can use it in the wrong way, all right? If they are, wal-'iyadhu billah, may Allah save us, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they take that, they took the hair of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they make these uqda, these knots around the comb. So they make that, and they did all of this, and they bury it in the well of water. They put it where? In the water well. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he receives the wahi, he say everything, but his human aspect, human life, personal life, he start thinking that he's doing things, but he's not doing it. So his wife would say that, why you not come? He said, I came, I spent the night with you last night, and he did it, right? I did this, I did that, but he was like that. So that they did this kind of magic for him, and this hadith is sahih. So magic does affect people. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla sent to him Jibreel alayhi salam, Mikael alayhi salam. One sat on his head, one sat on his feet in the dream. And the dream of the prophets is wahi. So one of them asked the other, ما به, what is wrong with him? قالوا مطبوب, يعني مسحور. يعني he is under what? Magic, have sihr. فَلَوْمَنْ سَحَرَهُ, he told them, and who? So they are talking to each other to show the Prophet what happened. So who gave? He said, Labid ibn al-A'sam. He said, سَحَرَهُ بِمَاذَا? What did he make magic with? He said, with his comb, with hair, and he make this kind of thing. So where is it? In the will of such people. How can we solve it? They showed him everything. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam woke up in the morning, and he went over there to the well, and he came and told Aisha radiallahu anha that, I saw the well, the water of it is like red, the water of it is not normal, and it doesn't look good. If I don't have, I'm afraid that people will have fitna or anything like that, I would have took all this. But they taught him to say قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, and recite it, and the sihr was done. Anyways, this is a story, but it happens. So shaitan make this kind of invisible knots. All of this to show you the concept, right? So the concept is done physically, because we are humans, right? Done physically. But when the shaitan does it, this is when humans do it, right? But when the shaitan does it, you don't see thread or anything like that. But he is making some type of knots, his own knots, and he blew in each one of them, and he said what? You have a long night, so sleep. That's why each one of us, when we sleep, it's hard to wake up. It's very hard to wake up. But if you reach the level of being connected with Allah Azza wa Jal, actually it becomes the opposite. You enjoy waking up, you don't enjoy sleeping. You sleep to rest, yes, but it's not like you want longer sleep. Once you open your eyes, alhamdulillah, I'm awake now. Right? So, but shaitan does that. That's why it becomes heavy when you wake up in the morning. It's heavy, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. It doesn't matter how restful you are or restless, but it doesn't matter. Even when you wake up, it still kind of take you a few moments until you're up and going. So shaitan does that. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, what do you do? He said, a mu'min, a believer, فَإِذَا اسْتَيْقَظ, when you wake up, means for fajr, in the morning, انحلت عقدة, one knot is already untied. So how you untie the knots? By just waking up. And when you wake up, you don't you don't stay too long in bed, and don't jump out fast either. Even health-wise is not good. Health, physically, psychologically, mentally, you are not supposed to take long time from the minute you open your eyes until the minute you leave the bed. You're not supposed to take long time. And you're not supposed to jump out either. Right? They said, when you wake up, just take about 30 seconds to breathe, right? And in our Islam Sunnah, you make the dua. Right? You say, Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma amatana wa ilayhi nushur. See? It takes about 5-6 seconds. You breathe, you take that. So it's about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You open your eyes and Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma amatana wa ilayhi nushur. Say La ilaha illallah, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. Then they say, another 30 seconds, you sit and you put your feet down. You sit on the edge of the bed, right? And you put your feet down. Just sit. So you're lying down for 20-30 seconds. Then you go and put your feet down and sit in bed like this. Then you wake up, you go, stand up and go. Your system goes gradual. This way, if you try this every day, you will see how active you become. See, it's a little tiny thing. But when you jump out like this, it's kind of like you pushing yourself hard, you're going to collapse during the day. It's like, you are bringing the energy and pushing it one time. Alright? But when you breathe, you're kind of like telling your system, I'm up now. I'm sitting now. I'm standing now, right? So you go like, it's the engine. It's like the engine. You turn the engine on and let it, when you turn the engine on, reverse and go. So this is like, you have to take it easy on yourself. And this is also gives you a chance to start your day with dhikr. That's 1 minute, right? You can do lots of things in 1 minute. Correct? So when you wake up in the morning, say La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa ala kulli shay'in qadir alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma amatana wa ilayhi nushur. Then you sit up and say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-azim. Say it 2-3 times, then you stand up and go. Right? So then you go do wudu and pray and go about your day. Alhamdulillah, it started in a good way. When you go back to sleep, you reverse the process. So when you go, you wipe your bed, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Then you sit on the edge of the bed. You sit on the edge of the bed and you put your hands up. You read Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi, you read Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq, Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas, and then wipe all your body. Then you bring your feet up and sleep. You don't jump on the bed and line your stomach right. No, we don't do that. You go to your bed, prepare your bed. Actually, you should prepare your bed. You make sure it is nice. You wipe that, so any shaitan or any jinn or any whatever, right? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, like your bed. Sometimes also you need to do the like that. Say Bismillah, Bismillah, like that. And then sit on the edge of the bed and you do the dua. Like remember you are lying down, and then you up. Now you are sitting, and you do the dua, and then you go lie down on your right side and say the dua. And then if you are not sleeping yet, say Subhanallah 33 times, like after Salah. Alhamdulillah 33 times, and until you sleep. Keep saying that till you sleep. Say Salah on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam until you sleep. You will sleep. You will. You will sleep. So this is the etiquette of sleeping as well. So to keep yourself protected. So shaitan will do that. So when you wake up in the morning, one knot is untied. فإذا توضأ فإن توضأ انحلت عقدة. Second one will go out by doing wudu. فإن صلى انحلت عقده كلها فأصبح نشيطا طيب النفس وإلا أصبح خبيث النفس كسلان. So if you pray, then 3 knots gone, so he becomes very active during the day, or will become lazy and lethargic. What about the sisters when they are in their period or something like that? Do 2 of them. When you wake up in the morning, 1 done, and you do wudu. You doing wudu, not necessarily doing wudu for the salah. That's why one of the things that, a person always staying in the state of wudu, even if we have certain etiquettes that we do wudu, not necessarily for salah. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, when one of you becomes angry, do wudu. Why? Because he said anger is from shaitan and shaitan is from fire. So extinguish fire with water. So do wudu. So here you are doing wudu not for the salah. You are doing wudu too. And there is wudu for refreshment. Sometimes, you just wanted to feel good in a hot day or something like that. You just go do wudu. And we just pray the salah and you go do wudu. Fresh, to be fresh. And when a person, husband and wife, they have the relationship and he wants to sleep or they want to sleep without the ghusl, sunnah is to do wudu. Just don't sleep like that, just do wudu. The wudu does not make you pure, but still you're doing wudu. But you get the idea, right? So we do wudu not necessarily for what? Salah. And before you sleep, it is sunnah to do wudu, by the way. Just to sleep. I'm going to do wudu because I want to go to sleep. When you did wudu, it's protection for you from shaitan and nightmares and bad dreams and the jinn coming around you. They don't come close to you if you have wudu. It does not matter you're in your period or not. Okay? So if you wake up in the morning, you do wudu also. You are not doing wudu for salah because you cannot pray, right? But you just do wudu. I want this to become like a habit, right? You do wudu. Yeah, I'm not going to pray, yes, but I just do wudu. So, and because your situation, inshallah, all three will be untied. So this shaitan also shaitan will go away. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إذا استيقظ أحدكم من منامه فليتوضأ. إذا استيقظ أحدكم من منامه فتوضأ فليستنثر ثلاثة فإن الشيطان يبيت على خشومه. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is saying that when one of you wakes up from sleeping and making wudu, so make sure you are pulling your nose 3 times. Like that. هذا استنثار. استنشاق. استنثار. Pulling out, يستنشق ويستنثر. Is it clear? استنشق الاستنشاق taking the water up, and that's the part of the wudu. If I do like this, wudu part is done. I don't have to pull my nose, right? So pulling the nose is extra sunnah. Okay, but this is the part that needed, the water to go up your nose. Sometimes you don't want to pull it out. It's okay. It's okay. Istinshaq. But istinthar is pulling it. So that's why you make istinshaq with right, make istinthar with the left. So, blow your nose, yes. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you wake up from sleep, make sure you blow your nose 3 times. Because shaitan was there. Shaitan was sleeping there. So where does the shaitan sleep? On our nose. Don't tell me, I don't want you to imagine it in a physical way, please. Because sometimes we don't get it, right? Because we're thinking shaitan is like a fully grown man. How he's going to be sitting on my nose, It's like, they're saying, oh, shaitan is going to do whatever in your mouth. Okay, but this is what we do. Not necessarily he's doing the same thing like we do. And remember that the shayateen, they can shape in different things. Right? So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us shaitan runs in the blood. Okay? So shaitan can be like a virus, can be like a tiny thing, and it can enter from the pores of your body. It can be something on a speck on your nose. Shaitan is in your nose. It does not mean like in his fully grown thing sitting on your nose. No. This is not the idea. But the idea is to accept what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Is that clear? Yeah, he is on the nose of a person who's sleeping. But if you are person who sleep on wudu, you doing that, he will not do that. Shaitan will not be on your. But the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying anyways, you do this pulling your nose like 3 times when you wake up from sleeping. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and those hadiths in Sahih Bukhari, some people they joke, they mock it, but I'm telling you how to understand it, because you are a student of knowledge, right? So when you understand things, don't take things like in a light way, and sometimes don't put too much literal things on it. Alright? So you have to understand it within the differences. We're talking about jinn, you don't see. And jinn can be in the shape of anything, right? So that's what it is. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam su'ila عن رجل نام ليلة حتى أصبح. يعني a person who slept all night until the sunrise, يعني. Did not do tahajjud, did not do fajr, did not do anything. قال ذاك رجل بال الشيطان في أذنيه. This is a person that the shaitan urinated in his ears. If somebody says shaitan urinated in his ears, ew, oh, what? That's an expression also. Can be literal, but not like a human way, or can be figurative. يعني shaitan took over him so much that he became like the shaitan's restroom. يعني. You know? That means you have no value if you are not praying at night and you're praying in the morning. No value for you. You are nobody. You get the hadith now? You're like, what is that? Like, what is the point? Allah created you to worship Him and you're what? Okay? All of this, shaitan wants us to be lazy. Shaitan wants us to be lazy. But subhanallah, at the time of disobedience, shaitan makes you very active. That's what sometimes we wonder. Ya akhi, subhanallah, people don't want to pray long salah, but they stand in the parking lot for 2 hours. They are not disobeying Allah, but Allah makes the ibadah, shaitan makes their ibadah very tough. And when they are not ibadah, somebody can read the newspaper and sit and read everything in it. But to read 1 page in the Quran, so hard. Okay? Sit and talk, backbite and gossip all day long. No big deal. Let's go and study a hadith or something. It's very hard. Okay? People want to go to a party, they prepare themselves like ahead. Okay? But to come to the masjid, whatever. Okay? Just put abaya and go. Yalla. But go for a wedding? Ya salam. Can you put abaya and just go over there? No. People gonna criticize you. And if they see you with the same dress or abaya, mushkila, musiba. Like a disaster. Your husband is gonna sleep on the couch for 1 month. Yeah. So, has to buy this and has to do that. ليه؟ هذا والله من تزيين الشيطان. This is how shaitan. I am telling people all the time. Why when you come to the masjid, you are less prepared than when you go to a party. You're coming to Allah's invitation for Yawm al-Jum'ah, or I want people, I say, let's take it one step at a time. MashaAllah, we know that the whole community, they are in the best of their clothing and dress and behavior in the Eid day. Yes? Why we don't do this every Jum'ah? I wish we reached to that level. I do wish. If we reach that level, then we are one step ahead. So instead of Eid time only, every time you're coming for Jum'ah, you should be like looking nice, smelling nice, best of your behavior, smiling, happy, like that. Brothers and sisters. Can we start doing this, inshallah? Yeah, every Jum'ah, look forward for it. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? Thursday, you just keep thinking, what I'm going to be dressed tomorrow. I want this process to go. You are invited to a wedding a month before, you are saying what I'm going to be dressed like. And we are invited to weddings all the time, by the way. It's not like happens once a year. It happens at least once a month for us. Okay? So you have always something to look for. Be decent. I'm not saying that go all the way. Be special. Special than every day. Okay? So Jum'ah should have its status, and it starts from within. I'm excited to go pray Jum'ah. Then I'm going to be dressed properly. I'm going to go early. I'm going to listen to the khutbah attentively. I'm going to go and greet everybody. I feel very happy. I want to take all this energy and positive energy and leave with it. So it stays with me for a week. Okay? But we come to gossip and talk, oh, look at her, look at him, what he said, what he did, look at me like this, they didn't look, they didn't say salam to me, that must be something. Why? You come, suck all the negative energy and leave? No, come for Jum'ah to take this positive energy. These people will not be there except once a week. You agree? Once a week, you look at them and say, MashaAllah, Allahu Akbar, look at my Jama'ah, Try to embrace that. Jum'ah, I keep looking for those people, I'm looking for the people who smile. And I keep looking at them. I'm serious, because, I have enough stress in my life. Yeah, as a Sheikh, I'm a human being too. I have enough stress in my life. I have enough stress from the community. I just want to see people laughing, people smiling, people happy, Real. Like I finish the khutbah and I find people like, oh yes, here you go. And I go and greet this person. I see the kids playing around and I go talk with them. This is energy, wallahi, it helps you. Try. It does help you. We don't pay attention to these tiny little things, but they build up. Try. Try to go close to those who are happy. Okay? Try to go to those who give you this positive energy, this boost, this motivation. Be close to these people. People negative, it's bad for you. It's bad for you. And if it is a spouse, may Allah help. Also, shaitan has a way of telling you, it's alright, you can do this later. Okay? You can do this later. There is always a chance. Dhuhr finishes at Asr time. Well, Asr you have until Maghrib. Maghrib until Isha, and you are a busy person, you can make Jama'. Gather. Shaitan, huh? And he said, you will do it. It will be done. So why it's not done now? Ask yourself that question, right? Whenever there is an idea comes in your head and you think it's something important, and Shaitan said, yeah, one day I will do it. One day I'll do it means you're not going to do it. One day I'm going to be very practicing Muslim. When I retire. But what is that? When we were young, we had this idea in our head, right? That masjid is for old guys. Yeah? So old people only go to the masjid. And only old guys die. No, old guys or very sick guys, they die. But we never imagined that when we were young, we will die, or we're supposed to go to the masjid. Until someone told us, go to the masjid, go pray. When we were like in the middle school and all that, when we started understanding this, go to the masjid, pray. But this only old guys, grandparents are the ones who are in the first line. When you see in the ummah of Islam, the first line of the salah is more young people than older people, you know that ummah is healthy. When you see more people in Fajr salah, or in Fajr salah they are like Jum'ah salah, then you know that the ummah is winning. So there are there are ways to gauge the health of the ummah, like a thermometer, to gauge the health of the ummah. There are few things. The way, if you see the woman in a certain way, if you see the children in a certain way, if you see the marriages in a certain way, you know that the ummah is up there. Right? Marital life, the relationship between husband and wife, how each one is looking at each other, that's one factor to identify the health of the ummah. Okay? When you see the young people, the children, the teenagers and the younger generation, from like 15 years old until like 30, from 15 to 30, 35, when you see these people frequenting the masjid and being involved in the religious activities, then you know there's a factor. So marital life, this life, right? When you see the education, the Muslims, they succeed in the worldly education as they are succeeding in that, then you know that this is a factor. So there are a few factors. When you see that we are producing more than we're consuming, you know that this is good. And I'm saying it in general. I'm not saying it about items in the grocery store here. No, I'm saying even in your life. When you see that you are giving more than what you are taking, you know that you are on the right path. It's either you are an asset or you are a liability. All of us, sometimes the asset and the liability. Right? Sometimes you have to minimize the liability part and increase the asset part. What people get from you, it should be actually always more than what you get from others. If you are like that, it means you are a true leader. You are a good person. You worry about giving. Because when I make 10 people around me happy, so I get 10 times happiness. I get 10 times happiness, right? When I am giving. So my happiness is like how I am producing. That's why many people, when they retire, they become depressed. Why? Because they don't give anymore. And I'm against that. You retire when you're disabled, when you cannot do, when you have a disability, when you have a handicap, right? Then yeah, you're excused. But as long as you're giving, actually you're in the peak. You are mature enough now. You have like a 50 years experience. Just go to waste by sitting home. Come and train people, subhanAllah, Just sit there and watch and tell us what is wrong. That could be the job. That's why whenever I go to the stores like Sam's or whatever, and I find these older guys, sometimes I like to have a chat with them. These older people, I respect them so much because they don't want to stay home. They don't, and I like that. They don't do it. They just mark your receipt, whatever. But I like that. I do. This is how we should use the elders, right? Benefit from them, appreciate them. Don't think that making them sit, you are honoring them. No, actually making them feel that they're still part of the society, that's how you honor them. As long as they have something to give, let them give it. If they want to rest, let them make the decision. They make the decision. We don't force it on them. Is making clear? So shaitan always make us confused, about the things that we should do. There is no such a thing like retiring in Islam. And there is no such thing like taking off from work. You take off from a job, but you're doing another job. That's why people, they take a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, but they come Fajr here. They actually wake up earlier than they wake up for the job. That's what it is. You do things. You do things around the house. You work. Don't have the concept that, there will be a day that I don't do anything except sleeping. What kind of human are you? Really? What even animals don't do that. Animals hibernate for a reason. But we just hibernate for the sake of hibernation, Like we just want to be lazy, like sit there, do nothing. There is no such a thing like that. So Iblis, Shaitan, make us do like that. Also, he gives you hopes, false hopes. Yeah. You don't have to put much effort. You are very good. You are actually better than everybody else. Look at those people who do not even pray. At least you are praying Jum'ah. You see? And then you say, if you don't go to Jannah, who is going to go to Jannah? يَعِدُهُمْ وَيُمَنِّيهِمْ وَمَا يَعِدُهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ إِلَّا غُرُورًا. Allah said Shaitan promised them and give them hopes, false hopes, and only giving them false hopes. Also, he will come to you in a way that he is an advisor. Actually, he did that to Adam. وَقَاسَمَهُمَا إِنِّي لَكُمَا لَمِنَ النَّاصِحِينَ. يعني حلف لهم. He made an oath to Adam. Wallahi, by Allah, I am advisor for you. You see? Even though Allah said he is your enemy, but he's so persuasive to that level. Can you imagine that? Sometimes there is a person who is bad, but you find everybody's around them. Sometimes they're like that. So this is a shaitan work. Shaitan work. Sometimes you find like among the teenage culture or the girls' culture, the boys' teenagers, when there is somebody like playful and flirtatious and everything, everybody's around them. But when somebody's serious, people don't like. Am I right? Yeah, when somebody are playing and all the girls want to go with that kid, so all the girls want to go with that kid. But even though they know that he is going around, right? But they want that. But if somebody like loyal and stuff like that, no good. Shaitan work. And I'm talking again in general, right? A Muslim will not do that either way. But what I'm trying to say like that. So that's what shaitan does. So people go behind, like men will go behind a woman who is like opened, but in a woman who is practicing and modest and everything, they don't want. Okay, so lesser people would look for. So you find, like, subhanallah, some people say, Sheikh, make dua for my daughter to get married. Make dua for my daughter to get married. May Allah give her, she is wearing full hijab and everything. It's very hard for her to find someone. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Yeah, it makes me sad. And I'm telling you, these parts of the society we're living in. Yani, the man and the woman, they know that they are doing a good thing, that their daughter is practicing Muslim. But they kind of sad that, you know, if she's around in her hair and going up and down and jumping and all that, then people will be lining up for that. But the problem is the long term. Long term, this is success, but this is failure, right? This long term is an issue. But the shaitan is the one that does these things in our head. May Allah help us, subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب. There is a story here I want to mention. This is from Israelites, right? So those kind of stories, you don't believe it and you don't deny it. Yani, it's okay. You learn the moral of the story. Like the story I told you before about the man who keeps falling and the shaitan takes him to the masjid. And he said, you know what, every time you fall, Allah forgive 1 year of your life. Sins. So if you keep falling, then you become forgiven, khalas, you know, you are not a good customer anymore for me. So he took him to the masjid. Yani going to the masjid without falling is better for me than falling and keeping rewarded. So you get 27 times reward, but not 2,700 times. Shaitan will do that. So there is another story from the kind. He said, كان عابدا في بني إسرائيل. There was a monk, a worshipper, a person who is in a monastery, you know, like worship. وكان من أعبد أهل زمانه, very very pious. وكان في زمانه ثلاثة إخوة لهم أخت. يعني there are 3 brothers, they had a sister. وكانت بكرا ليس لهم أخت غيرها. She was never married, she didn't have any relationship, she is a virgin. So this is their young sister. فخرج البعث على ثلاثتهم. يعني all of them will be recruited in army or something like that. All of them, 3. فلم يدروا عند من يخلفون أختهم. يعني how they're going to leave their sister, to whom? Nobody trustworthy to leave their sister with while they are in their journey. ولا من يأمنون عليها, they don't trust anybody. ولا عند من يضعونها or keep her. قال فأجمع رأيهم على أن يخلفوها عند عبد بن إسرائيل. So they said there is nobody more pious who abandoned the dunya, and the Ubad bin Israel, they don't get married or anything like that, right? So they don't have desire yani, in the women. So they said, you know, we will keep our sister with this man. Right? فأبى ذلك عليهم. He refused. He told them no. وتعوذ بالله منهم ومن أختهم. أعوذ بالله from you and your sister. I don't want anything, you know, to distract me from that. And they kept begging him until he said okay. Then he says, don't put her in the same building I am in, Sawma'a, the monastery, but put her in a small building beside it, you know, beside. So they put her there and they left. So he brings the food, they put it in front of her door, and he goes, right? And whenever she needs something, he brings it, and he closes his door and he goes up to his monastery. And then he never sees her face to face. So he put the food, and when he goes, he closes his door and he calls upon her. He said, go out, open your door now and take the food. He doesn't want to see her. And they stayed like that for a while. So shaitan, the story said, فَتَلَطَّفَ لَهُ الشَّيْطَانِ. Shaitan comes in an easy way for him, you know, telling him, you know. He tell him, Wallahi, you're doing a great job. You know, if she sees you, she would feel more comfortable, right? You know, that, you know, take care, she's young, she's like your daughter, she's like this and that. And he says that, you're doing a great job by being like this cautious. But imagine you go up and close the door. When she opened the door, somebody else sees her and then, come and attack her or something like that. So make sure you bring the food inside. I'm just telling you out there. Shaitan doesn't. There's no problem. You can talk. Chatting, no problem. Text, innocent text, no big deal. Then becomes a chat, becomes a this, and then the heart goes. Then it becomes very hard to pull back. Understand? Well, I'm relating this to what we do. Sometimes, the act itself is no problem. But what is the next act? That will be also no problem, right? Until you come to the problem act, and he said, I wish I stopped then. But it's hard now. Because once the heart is pulled, then it's very hard to bring it back. Yes? So this heart in the hand of Allah. You keep it in the hand of Allah by avoiding distractions. You start looking, you start talking, you start moving, the shaitan in the hand, the heart is in the hand of shaitan now. So be careful. So anyways, so he says, put the food inside. So he started doing like that. Then Iblis comes more, and he says, if you put it, first he told him to put it on the door and wait until she takes it. Then he said, you can take it inside. Then he started telling him, give her a little bit chat of comfort. Make her feel comfortable. I am there. Anything you need, I'm over there. This kind of thing. So, and he keeps that few weeks. Like he's not taking him like the next day. No, until he gets used to the new situation. That's shaitan's work, by the way. Until they get used, like drug addiction. They give free 1, 2, 3 times. Once they make sure that, then they pull back, you go to them now. Right? So this is the way it is. But they don't force it on you, and they don't let you until you get addicted. Then he told him, let her come sometime, sit in front of your door, and talk with you a little bit. And now you go, give her the food, you talk to her a little bit, you're doing good. But sometimes maybe she wants to talk to you in a different time. Allow her. Because you're talking anyways, right? Now we're having conversations anyway. So what's the problem if you go to her or she comes to you? Really, logically speaking. Yeah, what is the deal, Like now you go to her whenever you decide. What about if she wants to talk to you? You see the logic, how it works? One step at a time. So started doing that. Then Iblis come to him again, and he told him, if you go out, both of you, and sit like outside, and now you go to her and speak in front of her door, she comes to you and speak in front of her door, make it a little bit longer, and all of that. All of this, and she was covered, right? She was covering her face and everything. Then he started talking to her all day long. And he told him, you have all night to pray. But daytime, she doesn't have anybody, so she can sleep and you pray. But daytime, she's bored, she's alone. So he started spending all day eating back together and talking, and now, mashallah, they are close. So he started doing that until he started touching her, like, now getting like very physical and close. Then, subhanallah, they committed the zina, and she became pregnant. And now shaitan comes to him and said, what are you going to do now? When her brothers come back, they are going to expose you and scandal you, and you betrayed, right? Yeah. So then she gave birth to a child. So he told him, you have to kill that child. because if they come and they see the child, then it will become exposed, But if there is no child, she can hide. She can hide the deed, right? Yeah. So he killed the child and he buried him. Then Shaitan comes to him and said, I don't trust her. Her brothers, they come, they talk, she feel guilty, she's going to expose you, people going to kill you. Kill her and bury her beside her son. And he did that. And he covered them with a big rock and did it. And then he went and started worshipping in his monastery. Shaitan told him, now you can go back and worship, No problem, no attachment. Until her brothers came back. They asked, he told them she was the best, but she got sick and I was busy with the worship. She got very sick until she died. I could not do anything, and this is her grave over there. Right? See, Shaitan makes him like innocent, They started crying and they started praying for her mercy, and then they went to their homes, to their family. They believe him. He's a worshipper, right? They believe him. And then they went to sleep. Did Shaitan leave them alone? No. He comes to them and he went to the older one in the shape of a traveler. He said, I'm somebody traveler, I need to rest. Right? First one. And then he told him, why you're sad? What happened? He said, my sister, this and this and this and that. And then the Shaitan told him, no, he lied to you. This guy lied to you. He did such and such and such and such. Right? He give. And he said, they are like there. And then he went to the same person, the second one. Right? Third one. Some narrations say that in their dream, he came in their dream, right? And told them the story. So each one of them wake up in the morning and they said, we saw the dream, same dream, right? Said, this is a dream, don't worry about it, Shaitan does that. But then, the youngest one said, no, even if it's a dream, I want to make sure myself, right? I want to make sure myself. So they went and then they opened and they find both the sister and the child beside her. They are killed and their, corpses are there. Then they went and they hold the guy and they pushed him until he confessed. Then they went to the leader of the area and he brought him and he came to crucify him. Okay, so they put him on the cross, and they are to put him up. Shaitan came to him and told him, I am the Shaitan, and I'm your friend. I can save you. I am the one who made all this issue for you, and I'm the one who brought you over here. If you obey me today, I can save you. He said, what I obey you with? He said, you believe in me and kufr to Allah. You disbelieve in Allah. Abandon the one that you worshipped all this time. You see where he brought you? I had power over you. Even though you were worshipping him, I still got into you. You see the work of Shaitan? Now if you obey me, I can get you out, because God abandoned you anyways. So he, subhanallah, made kufr, right? He made kufr, and he left him, and they killed him as kafir, right? And that's why, all the people in tafsir, it's Israelite, right? But in the books of tafsir, you will find this story coming. كَمَثَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ إِذْ قَالَ لِلْإِنسَانِ أُكْفُرْ فَلَمَّا كَفَرْ قَالَ إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِّنْكَ إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. يعني Shaitan will make somebody kafir, but will tell him, once he become kufr, he said, I'm afraid of Allah, you are kafir now, you are on your own, right? So that's what Shaitan does. And they mention this story. Not necessarily the story is about the verses about the story, but it's a story to get the moral of it. What is the moral of the story? Someone who's that level of worship, he brought him all the way, it might take a year or two, right? But he brought him where? To kufr wal iyadu billah. So always be careful from the makr of shaitan. It is weak, but it's very effective. You know, like you bring a stone and water dripping, one drop, one drop, one drop. It will break that stone after a while. Maybe that while is 10 years, 20 years, but it will break the stone. Okay? You know, they used to punish people by putting water on their head until they die. The water does not kill you. This is a skull in here. But after a while, psychologically and all of that, the person would die. Okay? So this is, you do little things, but at the end it will destroy the person. So gradual, huh? Also, shaitan will make you forget the things that it is beneficial for you, which is number 7 in the book. What does it mean? Prioritization. You know, we prioritize. They said, you know, priorities in your life. When you are prioritizing the things, is very, very important. You have to learn how to make priorities right. What is a priority for you? We always wake up in the morning. Yeah, I want to buy this and whatever, but which one is the priority? You start with it. And the second priority, you know, even they have programs now that this is red, orange, yellow, green, you know, like what is the label you want to put at? Means how much priority for you. Some people, priority for them to start their day with a prayer in the morning before the sunrise. That's a priority, right? Some people, priority that I have to be at the job at this time. There's some people, priority, I want to be early at that place. Priorities. So make your priorities always with Allah Azza wa Jal, more and more and more. Allah give you barakah and other things, because shaitan will make you forget. وَمَا أَنْسَانِيهُ إِلَّا الشَّيْطَانِ. Shaitan makes me forget. وَإِمَّا يُنْسِيَنَّكَ الشَّيْطَانُ فَلَا تَقْعُدْ بَعْدَ الذِّكْرِ مع القوم الظالمين. يعني don't let shaitan make you forget. The more you are exposed to wrong, the more you become forgetful to the right. Okay? The more you are with the right people, right place, right things, the more you become forgetful of the wrong. Okay? So you have to understand that. See how shaitan made Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam forget what to ask. Like when he interpreted the dream to the two people. You know the story, right? When he was in jail, there were two people, they saw a dream. They said, one of them said, I saw that I am making the grape like wine out of the grape for my king. Okay? I'm doing wine. I'm making wine. And the other one, he said, I am carrying the basket of bread on my head and the birds are eating from it. So he gave them an interpretation of the dream after a long conversation. He gave them an interpretation of the dream. He told them, you are going to be the wine maker for the king, and you are going to be crucified and judged, to death, crucified to death, and the bird's going to eat from your head. Right? Then he went to the guy that will be saved. He told them, make sure when you are saved and go out of jail to mention me to the king so he can get me out. Shaitan made him فَأَنْسَاهُ الشَّيْطَانُ ذِكْرَ رَبِّهِ. Yani the guy forgot to give the king, or Shaitan made Sayyidina Yusuf forget to say, Allah take me out. Yani he depended on person. You see, so sometimes Shaitan would do these things to us. فأنساه الشيطان ذكر ربه فلبث في السجن بضع سنين. He stayed there. Also some people, Shaitan makes them forget Allah completely. استحوذ عليهم الشيطان فأنساهم ذكر الله أولئك حزب الشيطان ألا إن حزب الشيطان هم الخاسرون. Surah Al-Mujadala verse 19. Mujadala verse 19. Those are the hypocrites Allah talking about, that the shaitan kept whispering to them and they kept obeying him until he took over. Once he took over, they are his hizb, his group, his followers, and they are the losers. May Allah save us subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also shaitan will make the believers fear the friends of shaitan. Yani a believer become afraid of the wrongdoers, the people who are wrong. Shaitan now has a group, right? And we are the group of Allah. So shaitan will put fear in our heart from his people. I can do this to you. This person is going to hurt you. You have to compromise a little bit. You know what I mean? So shaitan makes. إنما ذلكم الشيطان يخوف أولياءه يعني يخوفكم بأوليائه يعني shaitan is making you afraid of his people, right? And Allah said فلا تخافوهم, don't be afraid of them, وخافوني إن كنتم مؤمنين. Also shaitan comes to the person from the areas that you desire. He sees what you like most and he comes to you from that aspect. Somebody likes music, more music. Somebody likes to spend time doing certain activity, more of that activity. Whether it's halal or haram, يعني. I'm just saying that he will come to you from your hawa, your desire. Your desire. Somebody like fashion will take you all the way to the fashion. Somebody likes sports, make you all sports all the way. But you have to be engaged in it to the point that you forget the better things. Alright? But he will come to you from what you desire most. So you have to see what you desire most and ask Allah to make it a way to help you to serve Him, not a way to distract you from Him. I like reading so much, right? But then I pray to Allah to make me read more of what pleases Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm reading in the knowledge that will benefit me as a human, benefit my family, and benefit my community. Whether it's politics or economy, it doesn't matter. But I am doing it with the intention, and I'm doing what benefits me. But I like reading so much, I keep reading novels and novels and novels, and I don't read Quran. So shaitan will come to you and say, your reading is good for you, it develops your personality, you read how many books, join this book club and that book club, but there is no Quran reading, no hadith reading. Okay? So he will always come from the area that he likes. So shaitan came to Adam and Hawa because they wanted to live in this Jannah forever. He said, if you eat from that tree, you live forever. That's why God prevented you. You see those angels, how worshipping and beautiful they are? If you eat from that tree, you become like an angel. ما نهاكم وربكم عن هذه الشجرة إلا أن تكون ملكين أو تكون من الخالدين. You know why God told you not to eat? You will be two angels or you will stay forever. And they want to be angels or stay forever. So they ate. So he comes to you from what you like, your weak spot. Alright? Yes. Also shaitan will keep throwing doubts at you. Doubts. Shubha. We have shahawat, we have shubuhat. We have two diseases. Always, always, always. The attack to you comes from one of two things. Anything will be under one of them. Either the desire or the doubts. From the desire or the doubts. So mental or physical, right? So it's desire. Food, sexual, money, position, all these material things. That's shahwa, shahwat. Shahwat means satisfying your lusts and desires. So anything in this dunya that deviates a person will come from that gate or from the gate of doubt. What if? Really? Yeah, makes sense. Logically, oh my God, yes. What? How can I get out of that? See, shaitan always constantly working on those two. Right? Wants you to satiate and fulfill your lusts and creating all the time doubts so you don't focus. So the solution for the doubts is seeking more knowledge. What is the ilaj? The cure for shubuhat? Talabul ilm. The cure of shubuhat is what? Talabul ilm. Cure for shahawat is at-taqwa. At-taqwa, fear of Allah. Always remember. Right? Always remember. Allah gave me lust for food, but I have to make sure it's halal. I have to do things that healthy. I have to write that. Allah gave me this sexual desire, but I cannot do it except in the halal. I cannot do this. I cannot look. I cannot, these kind of things. So taqwa of Allah will control the shahawat not to be used in the wrong way. Okay? And the knowledge will control the doubts. Because more knowledge, lesser doubts. You have answers now. So you will less doubts. Yes, you will still have doubts, but you keep getting rid of them. And taqwa and ilm both together, subhanallah, واتقوا الله ويعلمكم الله. واتقوا الله ويعلمكم الله. إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء. يعني when you have this fear of Allah, this actually you learn a lot. When you learn a lot, you develop fear of Allah. So both feed each other and they save you from these two. So shaitan will keep putting doubts in your head all the time. So you say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. طبعا shaitan used to come even to the prophets and put things to them, they think it is revelation. But Allah Azza wa Jal said no, this is the revelation. Yani sometimes the Rasul is revealing, is receiving the revelation, shaitan will come and say a word in the middle. Right? So Allah Azza wa Jal teaches him that this is not the word of Allah, this is the word of shaitan. And the Surah Al-Hajj, verse 52 to 54, telling us that. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا من قبلك من رسول ولا نبي إلا إذا تمنى ألقى الشيطان في أمنيته. تمنى here not wishing or hoping. تمنى means reciting. Whenever they recite, the shaitan will put things in there. So Allah Azza wa Jal فينسخ الله ما يلقي الشيطان ثم يحكم الله آياته. Allah differs between the way and of revelation of Allah and the shaitan. Shaitan. Okay. One of the ulama said how the shaitan create the doubts. He said every morning shaitan will come from in front of me, from behind me, from my right and from my left. That's what shaitan promised Allah, right? I'm going to do that. So he said لا تخف فإن الله غفور رحيم. So he comes and he said, don't be afraid, Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. Then I recite, وَإِنِّي لَغَفَّارٌ لِمَنْ تَابَ وَآمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا ثُمَّ اهْتَدَى. He's answering the shaitan. Yani shaitan comes to him and said, don't worry, you're already good. And Allah Ghafurur Rahim. If you want to make mistake, Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. You see? He says shaitan comes and give me this idea. So I answer him by saying what? Allah says in the Quran, وَإِنِّي لَغَفَّارٌ, I am forgiving. لِمَنْ آمَنَ, for the لِمَنْ تَابَ, the one who repents, means the one who is not doing good, bad, and if they do bad, they repent. وَآمَنَ, believe. وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا, and do good deeds. ثُمَّ اهْتَدَى. Yani don't trick me. Allah Ghafurur Rahim, but for the ones who deserve it. Alright? So he's answering the shaitan. Don't persuade me to go do wrong because Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. Allah Ghafurur Rahim if we quit wrong, if we don't do wrong, we don't go intentionally do wrong because Allah is Ghafurur Rahim, you know. So shaitan is trying to play, so he said I answer him like that. Then he comes to me and he says, he comes from behind me, he said, you're going to lose, you worship more, you're going to lose your family and your children, you know, and your stuff, you know, you have to work for the dunya. Then he said, I recite, وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. Allah is the Razzaq. Allah is the one who gives rizq to everything. I'm not the one who is giving rizq to my family. Right? Then he said, he comes to me from the right and he gives me persuasion about women and all of that. Then I said, وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. They have to fear Allah Azza wa Jal, you know, and Allah give power to the pious and righteous. Then he comes to me from the other things, the dunya, you know, and all of that. Then I said, وَحِيلَ بَيْنَهُمْ وَبَيْنَ مَا يَشْتَهُونَ. Yani Allah Azza wa Jal will separate us from whatever we desire يوم القيامة. So why I get engaged in it right now? Okay? So anyways, yani the idea is you have to be always alert. Whenever a shaitan comes you waswas in your head, you have to see, is it right, is it wrong, you know, and why I'm doing this. Purify your intention and try to remember what Allah says. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So to filter the thought. You want to know that the thought is from shaitan or from Allah Azza wa Jal, you have to have the standard. What is the idea coming to my head now? Is it good for my deen? Is it really good? Is it this? Is it that? It will serve. If it is, alhamdulillah, this is a good thought. If it is going to distract you or you have something better, something else better to do, then you know, avoid that. It's from shaitan. Also, shaitan will take over people through drinking, خمر, والميسر, gambling, والأنصاب والأزلام, يعني those things that used to be at all times. الأنصاب is the place that they used to slaughter for the gods, right? والأزلام is يستقسموا بالأزلام. They don't believe in the qadr of Allah. They have those 3 arrows. You want to do something, get married or go travel or something, they come and the one has say yes or no and neutral, right? Yes, no, neutral. Neutral means repeat, yeah, right? So they kind of like mix them and you pick an arrow. Said yes means you go ahead and travel. No means don't travel. Neutral means you repeat the process. Okay, this is believing in the qadr. Well, ansab is the shirk. You're slaughtering to something thinking it will benefit you. So one is that you don't depend on Allah. The other is committing shirk with Allah. Maisir, gambling. It makes us hate each other. إنما يريد الشيطان أن يوقع بينكم العداوة والبغضاء في الخمر والميسر. Right? Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 90 and 91. Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 90 and 91. That maisir means gambling. This creates hatred because it creates selfishness, false hope, and whoever wins they feel arrogant and whoever loses feel hatred. Adawa, enmity. And they want to go again and again. And they hate themselves later. They hate the society. They hate the luck. They hate Allah Azza wa Jal. Astaghfirullah. You know? You see where it takes, and intoxication takes your mind away that you will be under shaitan's disposal. You see a person driving the car when they are intoxicated, what happens? They are not in control of they will hurt others, not only themselves. I wish they can hurt themselves only and we lose, alhamdulillah, we get rid of one trouble. I wish it is like that. I wish whoever drinks, the car takes them to a certain area to die. Yeah, but sometimes you wish like that. Like, maybe they invent a technology or something like that. Once a person drinks and the car takes them to desert or something. Yeah, just go there. But the problem is they become endangerment for people. For people. There was an accident that one doctor, he gave drugs without prescription or something like that to somebody in Conroe in 2008. And that person took the drugs and he killed a family of 5. Man, woman, 3 children. 1 teenager and 2 children. All died in a car accident because of him. Just took the dose and he drove. But you see, a person kills 5 people and devastated the family of these 5 people. The family of the man, the family of the woman, all their friends and everything. Changed the whole society's perception because of that. You see the adawa, the shaitan, destroys. It's not personal freedom. It's not personal freedom. Not everybody drinks, stay in their room until they become sober again. It doesn't work like that. They are not in control of themselves. How you expect them to be contained after they drink? A person become drunk can do anything, can open all the doors, can go out, can kill somebody, can do everything, right? So that's why Allah made told us that shaitan brings enmity and all of that from that. Now, Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan, he says, اجتنبوا الخمر فإنها أم الخبائث. Khamr is the mother of all sins. So Khamr and the Iman doesn't, and there is a story there I want you to read. We said that. Also shaitan comes from sihr. I just want to finish this section. Shaitan comes from the sihr. To separate between husband and wife. Is it true? Yes. I dealt with it a lot, by the way. It is true. People can do sihr, wal'iyadhu billah, by slaughtering for the jinn and doing all these kind of bad things. Sihr sufli, yani under black magic, what they call it, sufli. And they kind of make the zabiha for the jinn and all that to hurt people. Jinn mushrik, right? Okay, you want me to hurt that person? Alright, bring me hair from them, or bring me something like that, and bring this kind of chicken or this kind of goat. they slaughter it in the name of the shaitan. And instead of saying Bismillah Allahu Akbar, they're saying, for such and such Jinn king, right? So that Jinn king now comes and they take the blood and all of that, and they smear the blood, or they write with the blood the things, right? And then, he said, do this, do this, do this. And then that Jinn who comes, right? Like you are going for, how should I say this? It's like, somebody who is hired as a hitman, okay? Or hired to hurt someone. He has employees, like people working for him. You do not go talk to the hitman himself. Like he's under the rule of someone. So they go to that king of the jinn that sent one of his assistants to be assigned to that person, giving them trouble and all of that. So sometimes when a person wants to marry someone and she rejected him, for example, all right, or she wants to marry him and they didn't. What they go to a sahir, a magician, black magic. And this is in every culture, by the way. It's not something strange. And they make magic for them. Nobody else marries them. They stay there, and you don't know what is happening. Every time a person comes, they go. Every time a person comes, they go. Every time there is some problem happens, she will not marry anybody else because she rejected him. Or if she marries, they let her marry, but every time her husband comes close to her, she sees like a monster. Yeah, she sees like a monster. Or something will happen that they cannot come close to each other. Or every time he comes close, nothing. He's like nothing. He cannot do anything. So this is rabt. Rabt means the tying. Tafriq, they will keep magic until they get divorced. It's true. They will get divorced. They will fight for no reason. No reason. Like this. And that's a sign, that you find that sometimes there is a fighting for a reason, right? This person insists on something, there is a reason, but sometimes no reason. Like fighting corrupts. I don't know why you are fighting, right? And you wish to stop, but you can't stop. You go out, you are happy and everything, and you can't quit until you go home. Once you go home, hellfire. That can be hasad, it can be an evil eye, or it can be sihr, wal-'iyadhu billah. So shaitan comes from that perspective as well. وما كفر سليمان ولكن الشياطين كفروا يعلمون الناس سحر. So shaitan teaches people sihr. So can shaitan come and teach people sihr? Oh yeah. Oh yes. They teach people sihr wal-'iyadhu billah. طبعا some people they think that sihr is not true. It's part of your imagination. That's part sihr. في سحر اسمه سحر التخيل. يعني making you see things that's not there, like the story of Musa alayhi salam. We talked about that. And sometimes there is a sihr which is it divides between, and the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was under that kind of sihr. So when a husband started acting like that, the wife thinks that he's abandoning her or something like that, or she started fighting with him on the smallest of things, he thinks that she doesn't like him anymore, or she has an affair or something, they get divorced at the end. So he creates these things. And I told you the story, and the story is mentioned there in the book of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Also shaitan comes from the weakness of the human being, weakness of iman, create hopelessness, despair, also denying the goodness of people, being arrogant, transgressing others, denying not ungratefulness, rushing to do things. All these are diseases, right? And shaitan rides all of those. Miserliness, arguing too much, doubt. So shaitan comes from doubt. And I have a theory about doubt. I'll mention to you later, inshallah. Ignorance. He wants people to stay ignorant. Heedlessness. He does not want them to pay attention to what is good. Become very, very, very harmful or hatefulness in dispute. When you disagree with me, I disagree with you, that's one thing. But if I want you to get hurt because you disagreed with me, that's another thing. Right? This is hypocrisy. لدد في الخصومة. غرور means, person is like full of himself or full of herself. Lying and false. Sometimes person make a lie, so they look good in front of people, they believe their own lie. I studied in the whatever institution. They never studied in an institution. Then later on they gotta say that I studied in that institution. They can't believe themselves. Yeah. Also, giving up easy, quitting things. Like objecting to Allah's qadar, rebelliousness, transgressing limits, too much love of money, being so attached to the dunya. All of these things are diseases of every human being. Okay? So you give shaitan access, they become very manifested very big time. You don't give shaitan access, those things will not the weaknesses, but you have ways of strengthening yourself. I will stop here, inshallah. This section is a lot. طبعا there is for men there is the attraction of the women and the love of the dunya, singing and the music, belittling the good things. Shaitan will always whisper for us to do that. So this is end of chapter 3. Alright, so next time inshallah I want you to read chapter 3 carefully this week. It has a lot of things. And try to make your own notes. And I will ask you directly to see how much. Give yourself a grade. You don't have to give it to me, right? But give yourself a grade. Like every time you see one, and make a check mark that shaitan is doing that to you. That's for yourself, right? Not for me. No, don't show it to anybody. Just be honest, alright? So whenever you read shaitan does this, make a check mark. And then, see how many. There are 19, right? So see how many of 19 you get. Alright? And then you work on them. Even if all of them works for you, alhamdulillah, that at least you know now. At least you had the chance to attend the course that identified the problem. That's I'm saying between you and Allah Azza wa Jal. Check. Oh, shaitan was saying, I need to work on all of that. Okay? Then you develop a plan, inshallah. Alright? So whenever you see also something good, make a check mark with a different color. That those are good things I'm doing. So I need to invest in this more, and I need to get rid of this. How I get rid of this? More knowledge, more good company, more going to the masjid, more like these kind of things. May Allah be with you, inshallah. So next time is a very interesting chapter. Very interesting chapter. Can the jinn come to us? Can we see them? Can we communicate with them? Talk with them? Stuff like that. Shaitan can come in a different format or not. How about the people who say that they're bringing talking to spirits, tahdir al-arwah. They make a session and say I'm going to bring the soul of your mother and the soul of your father. They'll talk to you and they're saying this and they're saying that. It happens, but who's talking? Is it truly your grandmother or your mother, or there is a shaitan who does that? So we will talk about these things inshallah next time in chapter 4. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khair.